Hey everyone, Eric Whitacre here. Welcome to the 2021 ACDA National Conference. A little bit different than the way we've done it in the past. I was thinking about my very first ACDA convention. This was almost 30 years ago to the day in 1991 in Phoenix. And it was a life-changing experience for me. I had gone there, it was the third year of my 7-year undergraduate degree. Gone there with David Weiler, my teacher and my mentor, the man who got me into choir, got me composing, got me conducting. And he had taken a group of us students down, and I'd never experienced anything like this before. Just choir after choir after choir, blowing my mind. I still remember very clearly another one of my mentors, Dr. Joe Michael Scheibe at Northern Arizona University, performing, and of the five pieces that they performed in their set, 3 of them went on to utterly transform the way I compose. There was Norman Dinnerstein's When David Heard, Edwin Fissinger's Lux Aeterna, and John Painter's The Rose. And I can even look back now at all the music I've written to that moment and say, that's the moment half of my harmonic language and dramatic language was formed. Conventions are supposed to be these places where you come together every 2 years, these national conferences, and you see people that oftentimes you haven't seen in 2 years. In fact, you have convention friends who you only see every 2 years. And there's a passion and an excitement and a fire that is bubbling at these conferences that is unmatched. I live for them. I know all of you out there, fellow choir geeks, feel the same way. It's the kind of thing that fills you up so that you can go to the next 2 years until you come to the conference again. And obviously, we can't do that this year. And not only is it the 30-year anniversary for me of my first conference, but it's almost exactly now 1 year since the lockdown here in the United States began. And I've been thinking a lot about that too, as well. You'll all recall that there were those first moments a year ago when it started to dawn on us, oh, this is bigger than we thought it was. And then this is much bigger than we thought it was. And then that terrible moment when news reports started coming in that singers were getting sick and in some cases even dying from being in rehearsals. And I think this idea that our benign and truly benevolent art form was somehow dangerous or a threat to other people, it's too much. I don't know about all of you, but I spent some weeks just in the fetal position, just curled up. I had no idea which way was up and which way was down. Out of that time, I ended up making my 6th virtual choir. I wrote a piece called Sing Gently, and I, together with Claire Long and Meg Davies, the executive producers of the virtual choir, made by far our biggest virtual choir, 17,572 singers from 129 countries. And it kept us all sane, I think, actually, and gave us a sense of purpose and, again, most importantly, a sense of community, feeling like we were all part of something larger than ourselves, getting just a little bit of that taste of what it is to be with a group of people and show up and sing and simply make something beautiful. During this time, I know that a lot of you have either participated in or even made your own virtual choirs. And first, I have to say, as having started these things 11 years ago, and then watching this happen, I never could have imagined that this would be the way we would all be making music one day. And also to all of you who have had to make these things, I truly want to say I'm so sorry. They are such a pain, aren't they? They're such a pain in the neck to make. And I think that the virtues of virtual choir are legion. I think that the idea that you can include people who simply couldn't sing in choirs. This last virtual choir, we had over a dozen deaf signers, not singing, but signing. We had over 24 blind singers who were able to download sheet music, print it out on a Braille printer, and join the virtual choir. There was even a robust community of cystic fibrosis sufferers who, because of the strange nature of their disease, can literally never be in a room with another cystic fibrosis sufferer. So the only way they can ever sing in a choir is virtually. And again, it's just this sense of being part of something larger than oneself. This is a beautiful thing about these virtual choirs, and I'm so glad that they exist for that. The other side of that is that I'm getting a lot of emails from conductors saying, listen, please say something, because we have administrators or politicians in our community who are looking at the nature of these things, looking at how beautifully polished the virtual choirs are, and saying, this is fantastic. When the pandemic's over, we don't even have to have choir again. We can just do it all virtually. We don't even have to have zero period. To which I cannot say strongly enough, a virtual choir is not a real choir, and it never will be. Nothing can ever match the feeling, the growth, the transformative experience of standing with a group of other people in the same room and taking a breath at the same time. That shared intention. That's everything. That's the core of our art form. It's who we are. And virtual choirs, as I say, are important, and I'm glad that they've kind of kept the flame alive during this time, but they are not the same as our art form. That's important to say out loud. I think it's also important to say out loud during this time, directly to the students. Students, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Especially you who are just now coming into an education in choral music or in music education, and you're looking around you and saying, what is happening? First, your educational experience is not meant to be on a computer screen with a bunch of other little people in boxes. It's just not the way it's supposed to be. My son is 15, and I'm watching him do distance learning during this time. And we often joke that of the distance learning, at least they got the distance part right. It's artificial, it's strange, it's stressful, it's dehumanizing. So students, soldier on, power through this. Take this opportunity to really study music that you love. Look at the poetry. Look at how the poetry is written. We oftentimes don't get enough time to do this during the regular year. Look at the way the music is constructed. Listen to it a lot. Find other people online and talk with them about your passions. Keep certain that flame is kindled inside of you and is burning brightly. And students, I want you to remember this, that as tough as it is for you, and I know it's tough, I really know how isolating it is, the teachers truly have it tough. These teachers are showing up every day, and first they have to deal with all of this technology. I know, I see my son, he's like, the English teacher can't figure out her camera again. Yeah, the English teacher has no training whatsoever in cameras or computers, and it's not what they signed up for. Many teachers don't ever want to be on camera ever at all. And so each day, just getting in front of the camera and pouring energy into this black hole, it is so exhausting and numbing. And then within our world, in terms of conducting and teaching, and this is not the way teachers teach. And it's important also to say that teachers are teaching because they've been called to it. It's a genuine vocation. They're not doing it for the money, they're not doing it for the fame, they're not doing it for the career even. They're doing it because they are born teachers, and they show up every day because they want to teach, they want to transform students. And now they've been handcuffed by the pandemic, by the technology, and still every day they show up and do this. I've been astonished at how inventive and adaptive and just tenacious teachers have been. What character they all have, trying to find a way to keep students alive and engaged and passionate about our shared art form. So first, teachers, bravo, truly bravo, bravo, bravo. Students, as you listen to this, take a moment and just write a note to one of these teachers who is working so hard. You really can't imagine what just a sentence or two will mean to them. Finally, what I want to say is through all of this, I believe that a golden age of choral music is coming. I think that we're nearing the end of the pandemic, and sooner than later, we'll be able to get back together in a room and make music together. I imagine a lot of you are like me, which is that I'm going to spend the first several rehearsals just in tears. I'm welling up now just thinking about standing in a room of my fellow choir geeks and just breathing together. It's going to happen. And not only is it going to happen, I think the hunger that people will have for meaning and for collective music making will be stronger than ever. And I also think lots and lots of people will be just like me, which is that I will never, ever take for granted again, even a rehearsal. I will be so grateful for every opportunity I have to show up and make music. So this is all a way of saying, keep that flame burning, keep it alive. We're nearly there. In the meantime, bravo to these organizers who've put together this conference. Again, I can't imagine the stress, the work, the inventiveness to keep all of us together as a community, to keep the flame alive, to keep the flame alive. Thank you all so much for the work you're doing. And I hope to see you all in person as soon as possible. Be well.